Hello, everyone, and welcome to an online session on Introduction to IELTS. Today, we will be looking at the IELTS exam in detail and we will be discussing each of its modules. So, let us begin. What does IELTS stand for? It stands for International English Language Testing System. It measures the language proficiency of people who want to study, work, or migrate to where English is used as a language of communication. It will assess the level of English of non-native English speakers. The band score ranges from 0 to 9. Now, who owns the IELTS and who conducts it? The owner is the University of Cambridge, and the co-owners, the ones who conduct this exam, are the British Council and the IDP. Now, let us see the different types of IELTS exam. Majorly, there are two types of IELTS exam. The first one is the academic training and the second one is the general training. There is also a third kind which is the UKVI, which we will discuss later. So, the academic training is conducted to study or work in foreign countries. It is conducted 4 times a month. The general training is given to immigrate or to acquire PR of a certain country. It is conducted 2 times a month. Now, the IELTS UKVI is given to study or to acquire PR in UK. It is quite similar to the other IELTS exam. It is conducted 1 or 2 times a month. A few important points to remember about the exam. The first one is the result of this exam is valid till 2 years. The range for scoring is between 0 to 9 bands. Each of the modules, that is listening, reading, writing and speaking, is awarded a band score as per the performance. Now, writing and speaking, being qualitative modules, have 4 band descriptors. These will be elaborated in detail later. Reading and listening modules evaluation is based on the number of questions answered correctly. These will be shown in detail later. What does a certain score or a certain band speak about your English proficiency? For example, a band 9 means that you are an expert user. A band 8 means that you are a very good user. A band 5 means that you are a modest user. And so on and so forth till band 1, which means you are a non-user of the language. Now, there are 4 modules in the exam: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Listening, reading, and writing are conducted on the same day, whereas speaking exam can be conducted anywhere plus or minus 7 days of the listening, reading, and writing exams. Let us move on to the first module of the IELTS exam. This is the listening module. It is a 30-minute recording and you get 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheets. This recording is divided into 4 parts. First one is a dialogue, second one is a monologue, third one is a conversation, and fourth one is a speech. There are total 40 questions in this exam and the score range is between 0 to 9 bands. You need to master a few skills in order to score a good number of band in this exam. So, the skills that you need to look out for is prediction, recognizing synonyms and paraphrasing, recognizing distractors, and understanding connected speech. Now, what are the skills being assessed in the listening module? The first skill is that are you able to understand the main idea and the specific factual information in the recording? Are you able to recognize opinions, attitudes, and purpose of the speaker? And is the candidate able to follow the development of a conversation or argument? How is the exam scored? The IELTS listening test contains 40 questions and each correct answer is awarded 1 mark. Now, this score out of 40 is converted to the IELTS 9 band scale. The scores will be reported in whole and half bands. Let us look at the scoring bands descriptor. Now, let us look at how the calculation of band score is done for the listening test. So, if you want to score a full band, that is 9 bands, then you need 39 or 40 correct answers. If you want to score an 8.5 band, you need 37 to 38 correct answers. If you score between 33 to 34 questions correctly, then you score a 7.5 band, and so on and so forth till the last score, which is 2.5 bands, which you get if you answer only 4 or 5 questions correctly. Now, let us move on to the reading part of the exam. This is the second module. It is divided into 3 parts. The time limit for this exam is 60 minutes. Here you have 40 questions and the band score ranges 0 to 9 bands. The skills that you should master while giving the reading exam is skimming, scanning, and detailed reading. The reading test for the academic and the general module are slightly different. So first, let us take a look at the academic reading test. So here, the texts are taken from magazines, journals, and newspapers with a word length from 2150 to 2750 words. These texts are written for general audience with topics of academic general interests. These topics are descriptive, factual, discursive, or analytical based. Sometimes they also contain non-verbal materials such as diagrams, charts, etc. In the general reading test, the first paragraph contains 2 or 3 texts related to everyday life. The second paragraph contains 2 texts focusing on work-related issues. And the third paragraph contains one lengthy complex text on topics related to general interests. Here, authentic texts are taken from notices, ads, company handbook, etc. Now, let us look at the skills being assessed in the reading test. The first one is how well do you understand the gist or the main idea of the text? The second one is how well do you understand the implied meaning in the text? The third one is how well do you recognize the opinion, purpose, and mindset of the writer? And the fourth one is how well do you understand the argument in depth? Now, how is it scored? The reading test contains 40 questions and each correct answer is awarded 1 mark. Now, these scores out of 40 are converted to the IELTS 9 band scale and the scores are reported in whole and half bands. Now, how is the band score calculated for the reading exam? If you score 39 or 40 correct answers, you score a 9 band. If you score 37 or 38 correct answers, you score 8.5 bands. If you score 35, 36 correct answers, you score 8 bands, and so on and so forth till 2.5 bands, which you score when you get 5 to 4 correct answers. Now comes the third module of the IELTS exam, which is the writing module. It is slightly different for the academic training and for the general training. So let us look at it in detail. So the writing exam is divided into two tasks, task 1 and task 2. Task 2 is same for both academic and general, but task 1 is different. For academic, task 1 is a report, and for general training, it is a letter writing. For both, the time limit is 60 minutes and the score ranges between 0 to 9 bands. Now, let us look at the tasks for the writing section in a little more detail. For the academic module, the task 1 is a report writing. This report is based on some visual representation such as diagram, chart, graph or table which will be provided in the paper. The candidate will then have to write a report on it. The task 2, which is the same for academic and general, is an essay. An essay can be in response to a point of view, argument or a problem. The task 1 in a general module is a letter writing. Candidates will be asked to write a letter on the situation provided. It can be a formal, informal, or a semi-formal letter. Again, the task 2 is the same, which is the essay. It can be in response to a point of view, argument, or a problem. It can be more personal than the academic module. Now, what are the skills assessed here? There are four main skills assessed in the writing section. Task achievement, which means content and organization of ideas, will be assessed over here. Then the second one is coherence and cohesion. This means the flow and the structure of the content. The third one is the lexical resource, which means the vocabulary of your content. And the fourth one is grammatical range and accuracy. Here, grammar will be tested. So, the proficiency of a person to write a response is measured on the basis of the above given band descriptors. So, if you want to score a good band in the writing task, then you need to be aware of these parameters and what you need to do to score a better band. So, if you want to score a higher band, you need to achieve all the requirements of the task and you need to present a clearly and fully developed response. This will take care of your task achievement. Now, coming to coherence and cohesion, you need to use cohesion in a way that it attracts no attention, your sequencing is on point, and you need to skillfully manage your paragraphing. Third, it comes the lexical resource. Make sure you use a wide range of vocabulary very naturally. It should not look forced at all. And the fourth is grammatical range and accuracy. Here, you use a wide range of structures with full flexibility and accuracy, and only rare minor errors should occur. Now, we will look at the fourth module of the exam, which is the speaking test. This test is conducted anywhere between plus or minus 7 days of the listening, reading, and writing section exam. So, what is the speaking test? It is a one-on-one interview with the examiner, which is divided into three parts and it is recorded. Now, which are the three tasks? The first task is the introduction and interview. The second task is a cue card task. And the third task is a discussion on the topic of the cue card. The time ranges anywhere between 11 to 14 minutes, and the score range is 0 to 9 bands. Now, let us look at the three tasks in a bit more detail. The first task is the introduction task, where questions about the candidate's identity are asked, and they're followed by questions on general topics. It is a greeting task. The second task is a cue card task. Here, the candidate will be given a cue card and will be given 1 minute to prepare for it. After that, the candidate needs to speak about it for 2 minutes approximately. Then, the interviewer will count a question on the content which is spoken by the candidate. Then, the third task. The third task is the discussion task. This task is based on the cue card task. It is a two-way discussion which takes place in which the interviewer asks questions related to the topic of the cue card. Here, the candidate will have an opportunity to present ideas and opinions on the topic. Now, what are the skills that are tested in the speaking test? There are four skills that are looked at, and that is how the band score is given. The first one is fluency coherence, where the flow of speaking and the ease of speaking is tested. The second one is lexical resource, where the candidate's vocabulary is tested. The third one is grammatical range and accuracy, where the grammar is tested. And the fourth one is pronunciation, where the pronunciation and how well the words are pronounced is tested. Now, the proficiency of a person to respond in a conversation or argument is measured on the basis of the above given parameters. So, as the parameters have been described previously, here is a detailed version of the same. Here you can see if you want to score a certain band, what is the kind of speech you should have. Let us look at 8 bands. If you want to score 8 bands, you need to speak fluently with only occasional repetition or self-correction. Hesitation is usually content related and only rare to search for language. Here you develop topics coherently and appropriately. With lexical resource, you use a wide range of vocabulary. With grammar, you use a wide range of structures flexibly. And in pronunciation, you use a wide range of pronunciation features. So, to score a good band, you need to eliminate all the errors that may occur in any of these four band descriptors. So, here we end our session on Introduction to IELTS. If you have any queries or doubts, you can attend our live doubt solving sessions on every Saturday. Check out the schedule under the Live Classes tab on your dashboard. Thank you and have a nice day.